How's everybody doing today? Good. Praise God. I appreciate, I'd like to say hi to my mother. I'd like to say thank you to Edna for coordinating this as well. I'd like to say thank you to Father Chris. I don't know if he's in the facility or not, but I just think that you all have a wonderful shepherd at this church. And I know that you're very blessed to have him, as he's always, and I love the fact that every single worship service we are able to greet and talk, and I think that communication is one of the, if we talk about economic empowerment and just talking to each other, just communicating with one another is one of the strongest ways that we can start to empower our community. So I just wanted to say thank you for everyone for the times that I've been here. It's been so much love. So I'll give you a round of applause. Thank you so much. Anybody see the fight last night? Any boxing fans in here? Any boxing fans? I was talking to my brother, and he said, well, Ryan, how are you going to tie the fight into economic empowerment and talk about God and your wallet? Well, for those who didn't watch the fight, I'm a boxing enthusiast, okay? And what happened in the fight last night, we had Victor Ortiz, who was fighting against Floyd Mayweather. And now Victor Ortiz comes up, and they were going back and forth and doing what they were doing, and they were fighting, and it was a pretty good fight until it got to around the fourth round. And Victor Ortiz, I believe he might have got a good shot in on Floyd Mayweather. He got a little bit excited, and he gets so excited he just lost his mind. He really just went, I don't know what happened, but he tried to headbutt Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. Exactly. So he's headbutting this guy, and the referee stopped it, and immediately you could just tell that Victor Ortiz was extremely upset at what he had done. He felt guilty. He just lost his mind. He's a young guy, and he probably got a little bit overzealous, and he really just went crazy for a second. And Floyd Mayweather looked at him, and the referee stopped it, and they gave him a penalty, and Victor Ortiz was very apologetic. He went over to him. He said, look, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. And they took the penalty point away. But you knew that at that point, Floyd Mayweather said, no, I got something coming for you. I got something coming for you. And so Floyd Mayweather, and then, Victor, again, he was still extremely apologetic. And, the referee, they'll come back together, and Victor said one more time, he said, look, man, look, I just want to say I'm sorry. And Floyd walked up and said, look, oh, man, I understand, no problem. Wow! And just sucker punched him. And Victor, he got hit, he jumps back, and then one more time, pow, and knocked him out cold. Fight was over, and that was it. And so now there was a response, and everybody immediately, the blogs, and I do Twitter and Facebook, everybody started saying, oh, wow. And, what happened? And, and the response of it was what I want to kind of maybe relate to what's going on in this economy today. And this is how it relates. And I'm going to tell you how it relates. The response was overwhelmingly that Floyd Mayweather was justified at getting Victor Ortiz back. He was justified. He was the one that, Victor Ortiz did something wrong. It was blatantly obvious. He did something wrong. It was blatantly obvious. Victor Ortiz was at fault. He shouldn't have done it. As much as he tried to apologize, he was just wrong. But the response was that Floyd Mayweather was justified in getting him back. Two wrongs in this particular instance do make a right, as far as everyone else was concerned. So now, and that kind of concerned me a little bit. It concerned me because, again, we all know in the church, two wrongs don't make a right. And there has to be some sort of a moral ethos that we adhere to that's higher than, and again, what Floyd Mayweather did was legal. What he did was legal. It was not illegal. It was allowed because, again, hey, Victor tried to apologize just one too many times. He had his hands down, and Floyd Mayweather, by the laws of the ring, he was justified. You need to protect yourself at all times. He was justified by the laws of the ring. But sometimes, and I love speaking at churches, and we adhere to a higher law. And that's what I want to talk about today. And what we're talking about today is relates to economic empowerment, because it says in Romans 12:21, don't be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Just because somebody does something wrong doesn't give you the chance to do something wrong to them. the response from the church should be, if you do wrong to me, I'll overcome your evil with my good. And so I want to relate that back because it's been something, we do a lot of economic empowerment workshops across the country. And the economic empowerment workshops, we get a lot of responses and questions because anybody in here know of an individual who has a mortgage that's underwater? Anybody knows about mortgage underwater? Anybody knows someone who's had anybody know someone who's walked away from a piece of property? Now, this is the debate that I always get to. And again, but this Romans 12:21 should end all debate in terms of this question. Ryan, I feel like I'm justified by walking away from this piece of property because of the wrong that was done to me. The mortgage, and this is no doubt, just the same as Victor Ortiz did wrong. There's no question that banks, and on all fronts, I don't think anyone's denied fault that in this recession that everyone has a part of the skin of the game in terms of blame. There were too many individuals purchasing homes that they couldn't afford. There were too many corporations who were using greed as a means of doing business and essentially taking advantage of individuals who didn't know enough about mortgages and giving them mortgages with 500 FICO scores that they knew they couldn't afford with no money in the bank and said, here, you don't even need money in the bank. Just have a set of keys and you can get this piece of property. And on the government side, there was wrong because not enough oversight was provided. So everyone, and everyone's trying to point blame. Everyone has skin in the game, and individuals are too many times, and it's something that just laid upon my heart today because people are continuously saying, I feel like it's in my right to walk away from this piece of property. I feel like it's in my right because I don't have to pay this debt back. I feel like it's in my right because, you know what, they did something wrong to me, so I'm going to get them back. I'm going to pay them back. And I think that we have to start understanding, especially in the church, that if there's one necessity in this economy that we just can't live without, and that's Christ. There's one necessity that we need in terms of making sure that we can overcome. And make sure we sang the song in church earlier today. We shall overcome. How are we going to overcome? That's Jesus Christ. That's the one thing that we have to do. The morals that he lays out within his book. And making sure that everything. And I ask people all the time. I say, why is financial literacy important? Why is it important? And many individuals give me the answer. They say, look, I think financial literacy is important because we have, I want to retire. I don't want to spend my golden years working for the golden arches. And they say, well, you know, Ryan, I want to be able to provide, and you know, I want to provide for my retirement. I want to be able to buy a home. I want to be able to purchase a business and start a business. I want to be able to retire. All these